Hi, it's Stephanie Blum, and I'm here at the Comedy and Magic Club with another episode of Behind the Punchlines. So, what was your first joke, and how did the audience react? Well, my first joke was pertaining to being a school psychologist, and I worked in a rough neighborhood, and so my joke was the kids are really rough now, and when I was younger, we used to play red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, and now they're playing freeze mother effer. If you could have dinner with any comedian, dead or alive, who would it be and why? I think I have two answers to that. I would love to have dinner with Sebastian Maniscalco because I love him. I think he's amazing, his physicality. I could relate to him. I grew up in Brooklyn, so I used to go to dance clubs, and his stories about being Italian, even though I am not Italian, I'm Jewish, but I still love him and think he's amazing. And I just think it would be so fun to sit down and talk to him. Another comic I would like to sit down with would be Paul Reiser. Although I have spoken to him at the Comedy and Magic Club, I love him. And his jokes, he speaks exactly the way his jokes are, like the rhythm. And when I read his book, I could hear his rhythm, and I just love that. And I love how he's just so specific about things, and I just love it. I think he's hilarious and takes minutia of stuff and just expands on it, and I would like to speak to him about that. What's your favorite topic to joke about, and why does it resonate with you? I think my favorite topic to joke about is my kids, because it just never ends. Like, each stage of their life is just nuts. So there's always something to talk about, and it's very cathartic, but also very funny, because I know people could relate to that because they're going through it. And, you know, when I say I hate my kids, other people are like, hey, me too. So I think no matter how old they get, it's always going to be something. So I look forward to that. If you could only tell jokes about one subject for the rest of your career, what would it be? I think I would make fun of my kids, but I also enjoy making fun of my husband and my marriage. And not just about him, but me, because I'm no picnic. So I think just talking about marriage, when we met, how it evolves, how it changes when you get older, and hopefully we stay married. If not, then I will discuss divorce. So it's all gonna work out. What's your secret talent that not many people know about? Okay, you ready? Here it is. Thank you. What's the best piece of advice you've received about performing or writing comedy? Basically, the advice you usually get is just keep doing it. Keep writing, keep doing it, keep getting up over and over and over, anywhere you can. And that's the advice I would give someone, is just, and enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, it's gonna be a miserable existence. So that's the advice I've been given over and over, is just keep doing it. And that's what I do. How do you deal with stage fright before a big performance? This is what I do. Ready? Yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Because that's for your lips. And then I do this, and I breathe. And then I tell myself a funny and hope for the best. That's what I do. The weirdest place I ever performed comedy was in Staten Island, and it was in an Italian restaurant, and I was standing on, it wasn't a stage, I was just in the middle of the restaurant, and the waiters are walking past me, like in front of me while I'm performing, and someone dropped a Caesar salad on my feet, and I just said thank you, and I said I'll take that to go, and went on with my act, because the show must go on. So that's it. What inspired me to become a comedian, I was very, very shy when I was younger, so I wasn't the class clown, but I kind of wrote for him, because I remember being in like 2nd or 3rd grade, And I remember the class clown would say something, you know, and everyone would laugh. And I'd be so like envious because in my head, I'm thinking, I thought of that joke 5 seconds before he said it. And those were my laughs. So somehow in my brain, I wanted that laugh, but I didn't actually discover doing comedy till after I had my initial career, which was being a school psychologist. And then I don't know. I always loved comedy. I always loved to laugh. There used to be this place in Brooklyn called the Crazy Country Club. And younger kids could go in, teenagers, like there was no drinking, but it was comics. And I remember from 16 going to that place with my friends and just loving it and laughing. And, you know, it was corny comedy. Like they'd carry your food on garbage can lids and, you know, they'd have toilet paper for napkins, you know, that kind of stuff. But they had comics and I don't know, loved it. And then when I was older, in my 30s, I took a class in New York for comics, and you would create a 5-minute set with Scott Blakeman. He's still performing comedy in New York, and you'd perform 5 minutes of that set. And I was so nauseous that day because I was so nervous. And I remember you invite all your friends and they tell you you're really funny, even if you're not, which I probably wasn't, but they tell you you are. And I don't remember a thing. I don't remember from beginning to end. It's a blur. But after that, I kept going. So obviously I enjoyed it. How long have I been performing? I've been performing about 25 years. But I would say not consistently because I have 3 kids. So in between there, you know, I wasn't traveling a lot, but I was trying to get up as much as I could when my kids were babies. But now I have 1 kid left. 1 kid. She's almost out. She's 15 and I'm ready to take on comedy hardcore. The process of performing here is, I always heard about Comedy Magic Club. It is amazing and everyone speaks highly of it. And I always wanted to perform here. And I knew an agent who knew Richard, and he called Richard and asked him if I could have a guest spot. And that was about 10 years ago. And I did the guest spot. And after that, history in the making. And this is my favorite place to be, and it will always be my favorite place to be. People are amazing, kind, comics funny, food delicious. Can't be better than this place.
And you're opening for the legend
Jay Leno. I am opening for Jay Leno. What an honor. What an honor and a pleasure. I mean, this means the world to me. It's like amazing. When I got the text last night, I was in my bed and I was like, woo! That's how happy I was. And I feel very blessed to be able to be opening and be at the club. And
this is the first time that you are working with Jay?
This is my first time I'm working with Jay. And he's very kind, very nice, and amazing comic, historic, and I am so blessed and so excited and just so in awe of him. And I just feel really good. My career is skyrocketing. See that?
Arsenio, you were in Arsenio and Friends.
Arsenio?
In Friends?
And Friends,
yeah.
Yes. I was with Arsenio. And Arsenio, when I was on Star Search many, many years ago, he was the host of Star Search. And I remember I was so nervous. It was my first time on TV. And he said, don't be nervous. You had kids. And I said, but I had drugs when I had kids. And I have no drugs right now. He was so kind to me and he made me relax. And so performing here, he actually remembered me. I couldn't believe it. He remembered me on that show. And that was a long time ago. And there was a lot of comics. But he's an awesome guy, sweet, kind.
Okay.
And you know, normally like when you meet your legends, when you meet people that you look up to, it doesn't always go well. Do you know, like sometimes people say they look up to someone, they meet them, and then it's a disappointment. But I've never ever been disappointed with any comic I've met here. That's the truth. Never. Always been felt more in love with them. So that's amazing.
Thank you, Steph. We
Thank
love
you.
you.
I love you. Thank you so much.